So next, I want to talk about this. This is crazy. All right, so this is the projected path of these two hurricanes that are coming through. Like 2020 coming through. I mean, really trying to make it the most memorable year of my life, and you got to give it up for 2020. Like seriously, 2020. What else you got? I mean, I'm not trying to tempt you. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to tempt you. I'm just wondering. I'm curious, actually, what else you have. That's it. Just let me know. You know, I don't want you to try to one-up yourself, but it seems as if it's one-upping itself. Check this out. This is the path of two different hurricanes that are now forming. And by Sunday, they're going to be approaching. I guess it's going to be – it doesn't look like it's going to be crazy. I think 75 miles an hour winds is kind of just below hurricane status, more like just some heavy tropical storms. Here's some more I just want to read a little bit about it. It says, Tropical Storm Laura path shifts, but Florida is still in threat. It could join TD 14 as hurricanes in the Gulf next week. So you can kind of see, I guess this is 14. They just called it 14. It's the name of that one. What was the name of that one? Laura. So that's Laura there. She's about to hit San Juan. But they're just tropical storms right now. But it looks like they could become hurricanes as soon as it hits Texas, which would be devastating. And then this would, of course, looks like it's hitting Alabama and Louisiana there. So, man, this could be pretty bad. So, I mean, I just want to give a little shout out to anyone that's in the path there. I hope you guys are safe. Do you hear about what's going on in Iowa right now?
No.
So there's been this crazy storm in Iowa. Let me see if I could just pull something up. It's essentially a one big hurricane on land.
Whoa.
The entire state of Iowa storm. Let me see if I can pull it up. I forget the name of what actually happened. A Derico. That's what it's called. You ever hear of a Derico?
No.
Neither have I. Here, I just pulled this article. I haven't even read it yet, but Monday's Derico damaged 10 million acres of crop in Iowa. Wow, that's insane. 10 million acres and 600,000 people still without power in the Midwest. Oh, that is just not the best way to see it. Sorry, guys. I haven't checked out this site yet, so let me see if I can make it easier for you guys to see this. There we go. All right, so more than 600,000 customers remain without power Wednesday in the Midwest due to a powerful Derico that roared across the region. Let's see if I can get into that. Oh, I guess it's just the same article. I want to read more about the Derico. The Derico lasted several hours traveling through Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Wow, so that's a huge chunk of Middle America right there. The Derico was one of the worst weather events in U.S. In 2020. Hundreds of thousands of customers are still without power. Man, let's see. It's a Derico. Here we go. A dangerous, ferocious wall of wind that's like an inland hurricane lashed 700 miles across the Midwest. Wow, on Monday, flipping cars, downing trees, causing widespread property damage, and knocking out power to hundreds of thousands. Wow. So that is pretty intense. It says it lasted several hours traveling all through these different states here. Man, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, a woman died at a hospital after firefighters pulled her out from debris inside her mobile home. So this is insane. And honestly, nobody's talking about it. No, there's no media that's hitting up. I mean, I don't understand why this is not more newsworthy, because this is crazy. If you think about what 10 million acres of crops is, and then we think about COVID being, slowing the wheels down of everything, and then China having all the flooding, that's a lot of food. That's a lot of food that we're eating, you know, crops and all that.
When we saw that rain a few months ago, and I was like, hey, maybe COVID's keeping people indoors. There's less carbon being pumped into the atmosphere, and so the Earth's like refreshing itself. Yeah.
Interesting.
And it still is. And now we learn you can have inland hurricanes and double hurricane.
Derico. I've never even heard of that.
What?
But you make a good point, actually. If you think about all of the churning of all the carbon emissions that were going into the atmosphere, it kind of set the weather patterns in a normal way, right? it was normal because it was a continuous thing. Even though we were getting higher and higher with the carbon emissions, it was the weather patterns were normalized, I guess, to it. So like what you just said, when you cut that off, all of a sudden the carbon emissions might drop, but the weather will change, because it was normalized because of the amount of carbon. Like the China, I don't have any of the information right now, but I remember talking about this and looking at the different graphs of the carbon emissions dropping across the globe in India, China, America, all these hot zones for life on as far as humans are considered. And it's crazy to think about, but we don't know. Like what we're seeing, 2 hurricanes at once potentially. Someone in chat just mentioned HAARP.
Yeah, HARP.
And what is that? Weather control
high
systems?
Altitude something. Yeah, it's a weather control program.
HARP. Let me see what that stands for. High frequency active oral research program.
Okay, I got the first letter.
So I guess essentially it's controlling the weather. And actually, I read a conspiracy yesterday about that's what people think is going on in China. They think that there's this conspiracy that people are trying to flood the whole area. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. I don't think that's the case. I think it's much more plausible what you just said, how the factories have been shut down, and you think about air travel and everyone's staying in, so we got no air travel for months, no car. I mean, sure, we have cars rolling, but factories aren't producing stuff. It makes sense that all of a sudden the weather patterns would shift in a way that we haven't seen before. 2 hurricanes, a Derico in Iowa that totally, ripped millions of damage. It's like that's a lot of stuff.
I don't know if it would do it. It was just kind of a guess, but it seems, I would put it on the map as a possibility.
Yeah.
That lack of carbon would be causing it. I'm also not on board with the HARP thing. I don't think that it's. But that would just be my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of times if someone could do something, there's a chance that they are. So I guess there's a chance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's always a chance.
HARP.
I don't know if HARP's a real thing or not.
Weaponized weather.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably not out of the question.
I'm sure there's someone out there working on it.
For sure.
Trying to do it.
Control the weather.
There was
that
guy in California. I don't remember exactly the story, but he was like a rain man, and he would make it rain. But all he was doing, he set up this device that I forget what it did. I kind of want to look into this now. I forget, but it was this device that would force it to rain. But it was like an actual electronic device. Man, I wish I had more information about this. Yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
So it's like a mini HARP, I guess,
You can't do bombing runs when it's cloudy. I mean, you really can't effectively. Maybe in the modern age you can with radio frequent telescopes and stuff, but in World War II you couldn't. Like conventional air travel and air weaponry was almost negated. Like you couldn't call in air support when there were heavy clouds.
Yeah, because you couldn't see.
Yeah.
Couldn't see the target and whatnot. I'm sure they've gotten past that now. You got to think the abilities that these people have to do all that. So, but let's move on.